what it was. Or let's be honest, it was just a love bomb. You were so romantic, we were picture perfect. So much freaking passion, why we never got it back, babe. It was just a love bomb. Really wish you didn't push me away. I was willing to try long as it takes. I would never say we were a mistake, but fleeting romance doesn't a lifetime make. That initial love, all the goosebumps, those flutters in my gut, turn into disgust. What a waste of love, babe. I just wanna go back to how it was, baby. Lay in each other's arms all day. Say me it's just because. Tell me where we went wrong. Started as fantasy, ended as enemies. How'd it get so ugly? Can't we
BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts.
Well, let's be honest, it was just a love bomb. You were so romantic, we were picture perfect. So much freaking passion, why we never got it back, babe. If you miss me, just say that, babe. Love bomb. I don't deserve what you put me through, so you don't deserve one more chance. It's true. I still miss you, but I really miss that love bomb. Go back to love bomb. You hit me with that love bomb. Laying each other's arms. Lovely, calling so strong. Send me so strong. It was just a love bomb. Love bomb. I'll lay you to rest in pieces. No picture on a t-shirt, like you never existed. I'm done being a victim. This my villain era, look out. I go hard for my heart, play with her, it go down. Now you blocked, don't make a sound. Don't wish you no harm, but I hope that no good come around. In my space, there's no cheaters allowed. I gave you my word. Try it again, you're gonna lose your girlfriend. The nerve to think I wouldn't disappear from your life. Watch me. All this blue ice water in my veins. Memorial service in your name. Cold-blooded, blooded. You're trying to spin the block now. Bring flowers to my job now. Oh, you realize what you lost now. I've been pressure never stop now, but I'm way too good at goodbyes. Bet you thought grass was green on that other whole side. Guess what? I'ma help you decide. Tattooed on my tears, no, I swear that you won't catch me cry. Got no reasons left to rewind. I gave you my word. Try it again, I'll put you on a bench. Do not disturb. To think I used to dream of being your wife. Cold-blooded. Boy, I
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Information Man Show. Today will be a very interesting stream. I'm going to go in. I have lots of clips to show you to drive home my point. Make sure if you have not that you hit the likes on the channel, because this will help the video to move through the algorithms as best as it can. I want to thank you all for rocking with me. I know I did not go live a week ago, but I'm going live now, or I am live now, and I want to get into this. I wanted to say this. As you've heard, there are lots of things that are happening on the YouTube streets, people losing channels. I have said this and have said this 1,000 times. YouTube has become more corporate, and this conversation of this battle of the sexist conversation, this gender war, it does not and it will not last. It doesn't have shelf life. It does not. And if you can't adapt yourself to this platform, then you will perish. And that's as simple as that. I say what I'm just saying right now to you because black people, black men, black women, as a group, as a community, we have more at stake that's happening right now than a gender war. You see what I'm saying? We've got a lot of issues that we need to be addressing in our as our communities are being invaded by other groups of people that are being brought in, however they're being brought in by buses. We have politicians that lie to us. You see this black man and black woman on this picture, fed up, tired. We have a long legacy of building this country, but unfortunately, as much as we have built America, we don't own America. You see, how much do we really own, even though we've built? So we have other groups coming over here. Dr. Claude Anderson warned us about this, that black folks are going to get left in the dark. You see that picture? That tells 1,000 words.
True.
We're going to be left in the dark. We work. We pay taxes. Don't ever let someone tell you that we don't work hard.
True.
So while we're on the YouTube streets, some of us, those of us, getting into gender conversations that don't lead to any solutions to our problems, we have other groups coming over here with the goal of replacing us, using our tax, benefiting from our tax dollars while we can't benefit. We've got homelessness amongst black men and black women at an all-time high in this country, while Negroes on YouTube spend their time debating and arguing about gender wars, a concept and a particular content that ain't got legs to last on YouTube. That's why they'll get rid of you. And if you are just a one-trick pony and that's all you got, then you're gone in the wind. While let the intelligent black men and women delve into the issues that are affecting us today with solutions of how we're going to deal with it. As you see this black man up here looking like he works hard. But we got black people in Chicago. You see these three young black men right here. This is what's really going on. These are three young black men in Chicago who have been struggling to find employment. This shit goes all the way back to the early 2000s and beyond. But there was a forum in Chicago some years ago where they talked about the unemployment rate amongst young black males between, 20 and 29 years old, was somewhere between 40 or 47% unemployed. But yet they can let migrants come into the community. These black folks told you that they did not want these migrants brought into Woodlawn. Remember I did that video? All this stuff has been happening under a Joe Biden, Jim Crow, and I say it again, Jim Crow Joe. Joe Biden told us that if you weren't black, if you weren't going to vote for him. Remember, he said that. The question we're asking today, and this is not about saying that Trump is somehow a shining star for black people. This is about addressing the fact that for years and decades, since most of us were kids, most of us have been adults, the Democratic Party has left us $1 late and 25 cents short.
Tell the truth.
They promise us things, we don't get it. Didn't Joe Biden, didn't Jim Crow Biden say that he was going to create a commission to delve in and to deal with the police brutality that's been happening in this country? And yet he reneged on that and did not do it. I'm here for it today. Because after you leave this channel today, you will be enlightened. You will be reinforced. If you already know certain things, I'm going to reinforce it even more. When I show you these clips and what's really going on as it relates to the migrant situation, as it relates to why black people, or it appears to seem that some black voters out here are not going to vote for the Joe Biden, Jim Crow administration. Where is Kamala Harris in all of this? Where is she at? When is the last time they've actually really talked to black people? When have they been on black? It's like every time it comes for election, every time it's time for election, they want to go showing their face to black people when it comes to election time and shit like that. They want to come around, sniff around us and say, hey, we got your back. Right now, black people are fed up and tired of being fed up with the Democratic Party or the Democrat Party. We know that this political party has its roots in the Dixiecrats. The Dixiecrats were the ones who were reinforcing the Jim Crow laws that put that boot on our necks. But this is not to give the Republicans any leeway, because those same Dixiecrats ran over from the Democratic Party and ran their ass over. See, they never want to talk to you about that, the Republicans, okay, y'all? They ran their ass over to the Republican clan and set up shop over there. The Democrats have underestimated, undervalued, and marginalized black people for years now. They give us a few crumbs, maybe some social programs here and there. They give us some hope, like keep hope alive. You know who said that? Obama. Let me remind you, because it seems like some black people have amnesia when it comes to history, ladies and gentlemen, because Jim Crow Joe comes out of the tradition of the Dixiecrat. Oh yeah, it was the Dixiecrats that mentored him, rose him up, inspired him, and he likes to put his head on their shoulders and smile and laugh with the racist Dixiecrats. Watch right here. You see, Joe Biden has a history of this man right here. Who is the man to the right, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all gonna get a history lesson today. Come to class. Who is the man right there? Can anybody in the chat room tell me who is the man that Joe Biden's got his hands around, his 5 fingers around this man to the right? Can somebody? Strong Thurman. You definitely got it right, Sister Reviews. Strong Thurman, thank you. Strong Thurman it is. And let's see another picture of Strong Thurman. You'll see where I'm going with this today, how I'm building up his nasty resume. You see, Strom Thurmond was a legitimate old school Dixiecrat, didn't like black folks, was racist as all get out, but yet they said that good old Jim Crow Joe was cool with these individuals. There he is smiling with one of the biggest racists that ever was in that Congress or the Senate, whichever one of these ratchet departments that they were a part of. And there he is with Strom Thurmond. Now, remember, Strom Thurmond, and I don't want to hear this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, about, well, he can't be racist because Strom Thurmond, has a black daughter. Oh, my God. How many of y'all did y'all know that? It seems that good old Dixiecrat racist Strom Thurmond was messing around with black butane and impregnated a black woman and had a illegitimate black child for all these years he did not raise. However, he put a little bit of money in her stuffing for down the line, you see. So even these racists can lay in the bed with you. So I don't want to hear that talk about, well, you know, this guy got a black wife. You hear this all the time. Oh, because this person has a black wife or black friends, or that they can't be racist. Yes, you can. Racism don't care what type of kitty cat it gets. It just wants to get it when it can. So this is the thing. In the 2016 election, did Joe Biden actually win the election because he was the better candidate, that he was going to do so much for the country or for black people? Or was it that people just hated Trump just that much? Was it that we were just fatigued with Trump's and his antics? Was it that we were tired of Donald Trump? And as a result of being tired of Donald Trump, and even your Ronald Reagan conservatives were tired of Donald Trump, as a result, Jim Crow Joe was the only alternative, and therefore we did what we always do. We voted for Jim Crow Joe. Oh, black men voted for him at the tune of, 83% in the last election. Black women at 93%. In 2016, Trump got 8% of black people's vote, most of that being black men. But in the 2020 election, Trump got about 13%. It bumped up. Biden, same thing. Black women at that 90%, black men at the 80%. Once again, we've been taught, conditioned to always vote for the Democratic Party. But this is the thing. Why do we vote for anyone without making a demand for what we want? You do this, you get our vote. You don't do that, you get no damn vote. Why is it that we never do that? Is it because, ladies and gentlemen, as I reveal myself once more, is it because we are culturally conditioned to go along with whatever the Democrats say, but yet get nothing out of it? Why is it that the Asian community doesn't vote for the Democratic Party stock, lock, and barrel, but yet they can get whatever they want, such as a crime bill? Why is it that every group, whether it be the gay community, the Jewish community, whatever they want, they can get from the Democratic Party? But when it comes to black people, we can't get anything. I'm going to tell you why. Part of the reason why this happens is because we have the wrong damn leadership. The Congressional Black Caucus, or the Do Nothing Caucus, is not providing us the leadership that we need. Two, we are being led by jack-a-leg preachers.
Jack-leg preachers.
We're being led by these preachers in the church, and I'm not against people's religion, but we've been led by these preachers who are manipulated by the Democratic Party. I'm going to show you the proof of that today. You see that church you see up there? We're being led by these preachers who want to act like they can wear the boxer shorts of one Martin Luther King Jr., and they can't.
Jack-leg preachers.
They want to wear his boxer short. They want to be a Dr. King, but they can't. They're leading black people to the slaughter, leading us down a tunnel of no return. Just as long as they get there, ladies and gentlemen, I got to do this. I know people hate this. What's happening with our black leadership, the Do Nothing Black Caucus, or the preachers, is that they're all got their hands out for their butter biscuit. I said it. And they want those butter biscuits. So what I want you to see here is that this is part of our problem, and you'll be seeing this quite a lot through this broadcast, is I want you to look at these raccoons and how these raccoons are looking for their butter biscuits right now, and watch. Did you get a load of? Did you see how one raccoon was knocking the other raccoon over for the feast? That's exactly what black leadership right now is doing. One raccoon trying to outdo the other raccoon to get his or her butter biscuits to get that position while doing nothing for us, the general public. Getting butter biscuits. Let's get at it right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start where all this crap started before. Didn't I tell you this is fair use with the purpose of critical analysis, news reporting, and parody with a critical touch to it? Didn't I tell you it all started in 2016 when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, y'all ain't black enough. How dare he?
Jackleg preachers.
Remember this? This is where it all started.
Figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Remember, he said they're going to put y'all back in chains. So we should have known that something wasn't right about Biden back then because he was constantly disrespecting black people. I gotta say something too, because you're going to get all the good stuff today. We were under this impression that Biden won South Carolina just outright. There was some trickery that happened in South Carolina that made it possible for him to be the unanimous presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, the Dixiecrat Party. But just remember what he said here. And Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club didn't even have the decency or the whereabout or the critical thinking skills to put Joe Biden in check for what he said. I'm going to tell the truth right now.
Tell the truth.
Didn't do it. Let's hear it one more time.
Figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Romney wants to
Boom. If you couldn't figure out whether you were for him, then you ain't black. How is Joe Biden going to tell black people who've been black all our lives that we ain't black? You see, it's the history of our people that built this country. I want y'all to look at these sliders. You see, they're bringing migrants in here to replace us or to take resources when black people, stick with me, you'll get where I'm coming from, have been the foundation of America. These are foundational black people that you're seeing on these photos. And I'm going to say it again. Part of our problem as a people in America is not that we didn't build the country, but in building the country, we never got ownership in the country because we never had generational wealth. And most of the inventions that you think were created by Europeans were actually inventions stolen by black inventors like those two black men on the picture, because at one point in time in this racist country, yes, America is racist.
Tell the truth.
Yes, it is. Don't listen to any of these jack-a-leg preachers or jack-a-leg politicians.
Jack-leg preachers.
Yes, America, I'm going to say it, is a racist. How can you not be a racist country when you've got a long history of Jim Crow, black codes? Black people had to get in cars like this, drive down the road, and use what you call books like the Green Book to determine a safe passage to get to one point to another when driving. Black people, black men, when they went to war in World War II, they were made to sit and sleep and travel in streetcars that were for the criminals or for the prisoners of war. And when the German soldiers were captured in Germany during World War II, they were allowed to ride damn near in first class of the trains. Black men were treated poorly, hung on trees. Our women mistreated. Our communities burned to the ground. You've had massacres in this country like Tulsa, Oklahoma, many others like Rosewood. And you telling me we don't get reparations? We don't get first priority? The blood and sweat of our ancestors in this land, this place we call America. We got migrants coming all over that are going into all different states where black people live. Look at that map right there.
Tell the truth.
Coming all over, as you see on that map. They're hitting Louisiana, they're hitting Texas, they're hitting California, Arizona, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Mississippi. They're coming to a state near you, black people, and they're going to use your resources, your tax dollars, to flip the bill on them while I haven't flipped any money on you. And all this shit has been happening all this time under a Joe Biden administration who said he had our back. And he had people like Clyburn to be his front man. Front man that's been lying to us. Let's go into the next video, ladies and gentlemen. If you like the program, if you're getting something out of the program, hit the like button, share this in your social media right now. If you're looking at me on your cellular phone, your desktop, your laptop, your tablets, all you got to do is hit where it says share, send it to Facebook, send it to Twitter, send it to a friend. Yes.
Tell the truth.
We're talking about Joe Biden here. Okay. Now, after he disrespected us with that, if you're not black if you don't vote for me, remember these do-nothing black leaders. I'm going to say it again. I got to keep showing this again. These do-nothing black leaders, these raccoons, were on a video with Joe Biden. Remember that video? They didn't want us to see this, and he was talking to them like they were on a slave plantation trying to get their butter biscuits like those raccoons. Look at that, fighting over those butter biscuits too. And remember, Joe Biden said these words to these so-called black leaders that were on this video call. He said this to them with Kamala Harris to boot on the call with him. Check it out as a remember.
It is doomed not just because of African Americans, but because...
Stop right there. Stop right there. Remember, Joe Biden, Jim Crow Biden, said to black people on that call, these are so-called black leaders, black congressional caucus leaders, said to them on there that America is doomed. Not only, that's the key word, y'all, not only because of African, so you say that the country is doomed because of us, but it's doomed not only because of African Americans, but you got these migrants, these immigrants that and Latinos got the big numbers, and y'all gonna have to work with them. He was talking to them like they was on a plantation again, eating and fighting for white man's butter biscuits, like that raccoon is trying to get his or hers butter biscuits. Listen to this again fully.
It is doomed not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be
just
minority
because of African Americans, you
European.
motherfucker.
You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
Than y'all do. Did y'all hear that bullshit? Did y'all hear that bullshit?
Tell the truth.
How many of y'all heard that bullshit in the chat room? Please put 7s in the chat room if you heard exactly. This is Joe Biden. This is who we voted for. And then black people are running around here wondering why we haven't gotten any real tangibles from Jim Crow Joe, who I told you before used to run with people like Strong Thurman. And then we're sitting up here wondering why black people haven't gotten anything, because there was never an intention to get anything, to do anything for us, but to simply get us to vote. And that's it. And when the Democrats the Democrats, if you notice, they never specifically talk about black people in terms of what they're going to do for us directly. It's always shrouded in the code word messaging of people of color, marginalized people, and things of that nature.
Tell the truth.
Nothing specific, but they can do things specific for other groups. And this is why I don't want to hear anybody talking about, well, black people be begging. So if black people are begging for what we should get because we pay taxes, then that means every other group that's getting something from this administration and has gotten something from this administration and has gotten something from other administrations, they was begging too. But guess what? They got something. We've gotten nothing. We get treated like Charlie Brown on Halloween, where we have a bag and all we get in our bag is rocks.
Tell the truth.
This country
He said,
is going
not
to be
just
minority
because of African Americans,
white
you
European.
motherfucker.
You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
Than y'all do. So once again, Joe Biden is trying to tell black people what we need to do. I want to thank you for the super chat, Lisa Jackson. The couch is looking really good. Thank you. Keep watching. Keep supporting. I appreciate you. For a moment, I'm going to give you a super chat celebration. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
Time to run it off. I wake up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no might crash, might wreck. But first die, stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first die, stretch. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number 1 up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell me run it up. No sleep, no rest.
Lisa Jackson, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat room, I appreciate you coming over here. Y'all know I go live maybe once a week. I don't load up a lot of content like I should. But when I do go live, you know I'm going to give you a powerful, impactful program that you can learn something from, and I'm going to bring the receipts. I'm going to say it again. The gender war conversation is dead. It won't last on YouTube. We got real problems to deal with than this gender war. Stop listening to people that push this gender war on you because they want to make money off of you while at the expense of black people and what's happening to us, which is creating disunity amongst us when we got other groups coming over here, however they get here, who ain't over here to be our friend. They over here to get the bag from us. I'm going to show you the evidence of what I'm talking about. Real content you get over here. Let's go back into it right now. I appreciate all of you. Check this out. You want to know, all of you, one of the things that we've been saying a lot is that Joe Biden won South Carolina because he had front men, like I said before, front men like Clyburn. But they did some fidangling in South Carolina to get him to win in South Carolina. Let me let you hear what my man Tim Black of the Tim Black Show had to say about this. Check out this clip very carefully, y'all.
Because of his commitments, keeping his promises to black voters who have been the backbone of the Democratic Party.
Biden builds up his war chest so he can try to compete against Donald Trump. And the advertisers and the corporations all make money.
Boom. This is very key, what you're going to hear this brother saying. Continue. This is my man, Tim Black. I'm a member of his channel. I go over there and check him out. He also drops a lot of podcasts like this. So this is a shout out to him. Check out his channel if you haven't heard about him already. I do still have a mind to get him on this show. He's a great brother. He knows the political game. He's very progressive. But check this out, how he breaks it down.
But at the end of the day, was it because Joe Biden was a great candidate? No. Is it because people were enthusiastic about Joe Biden? No. It's because he wasn't running against anybody. At least it didn't look like he was. And if you think that was an accident, I got some swampland I want to sell you. It's beachfront property. Here goes my top 3 things you need to know about the South Carolina primaries. Number 1, the turnout in the South Carolina primary was only 20% of what it was in 2020. That's right. In 2020, you got 20% of the 2020 vote total.
Did y'all hear that? Are y'all really hearing what this brother just laid on you? Are y'all hearing what the brother just said, Tim Black? The numbers were purposely suppressed. All this time, we were under this impression that Joe Biden just overwhelmingly dominated South Carolina with the help of Clyburn. But in fact, yes, he did get help, but he got help from the Democratic insiders who were suppressing things in South Carolina. So when people talk about the election was fixed, no, where it really was fixed was in South Carolina, in the primaries for the Democratic selection.
That's right. This is a horrible display. So anybody that's reporting on the South Carolina primary victory for Joe Biden without including the fact that the numbers was down, aren't down with the truth. Number 2, Joe Biden pushed the DNC to help him by moving South Carolina to the first of the line. Make South Carolina the first primary. Why did he do that? Because it was the only race that Joe Biden could win. In 2020, Joe Biden placed 4th in Iowa, 5th in New Hampshire, and a distant 2nd in Nevada. His political career was saved by winning South Carolina with Jim Clyburn.
Boom! Did you hear what he said, y'all? If y'all heard what he said, put those 7s in the chat room. By getting Clyburn, who got his Butter Biscuits, as I said before, we got a lot of what I would like to call raccoons around here, y'all. Did you hear what the man said? Let's go back to it.
So what did they decide to do? They put South Carolina in front of New Hampshire. The only problem is New Hampshire has in their state constitution by law that they have to go first. So New Hampshire held their primary anyway. Joe Biden was forced to do a write-in campaign. So that's why we ended up in South Carolina. So anybody pumping their chest out about South Carolina, saying that Joe Biden did great, doesn't even understand that they rigged, literally changed the state lineup just to help Biden.
Did you hear what he said? The whole thing was rigged. What's going on, Jill Chocolate Boutique? Peace to Alicia. Peace to Embrace the Villainous. Keeper 116. Bubba Rashan. I'm glad to see you here. The elders in the house. Make sure that y'all check out the elders channel. You know he always puts it down. Check out my man, the Villainous, who's in the house. My man who goes by the name Bitter Truth as well. Check out his channel, Jill Chocolate Boutique. Passion Time. Thank you for being here, Sister Time. We've got Patty's Kitchen, Garden, and more. Make sure you check out that sister. She's always been very supportive of me. We got Cap PY2. Thank you, Cap, for being here. Thank you for being here too, brother. Select, non-elect. Yeah. Well, Dick Gregory said that a long time ago, that we elect who's the president, but we don't select who's the president. They're handpicked for us, and we're just told that's who you got to vote for. So the truth of the matter is, we really don't get a true choice in this country as to who we vote for, because none of these people are usually picked by the grassroots of the people. And usually when someone comes from the grassroots, they'll try to demonize them. That's right, y'all. Let's get back at this again. We got Jimmy Jam is in the house. Thank you for being here. And let me say to Baba Rashan, peace, blessings, and love, family. Let's get back to this. I've got a lot more for you. I'm not sparing anything but the truth today.
Tell the truth.
Now, after my man said that, Tim Black brought us back to what happened those years ago when everybody was giddy about what happened in South Carolina. He broke down the shenanigans in that situation. Now, let's look at this clip where this year, 2024, there's all this concern about black people. Will black people turn out to vote? You see, don't ever allow someone to tell you that the black vote don't matter. Because if you notice, whenever Democrats lose elections, check this out, y'all. They always appear to blame it on who? Who do they blame it on? Black people. When they lose elections, they say, oh, it's because black people didn't turn out. When they win elections, then they say, oh, well, it was because of the black vote and the Asian vote and the Latino vote, blah, 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 blah. But when they lose elections, they put it solely on black people. They don't say, well, it's because black people didn't turn out, and the Asian people didn't turn out, and the Latinos, we got to blame it on all these. They just blame it solely on black people. Then when they win elections, now they want to spread the credit to everybody. I want y'all to check this out right here.
The White House is vowing not to, quote, make the mistake of underestimating a key group that helped propel Biden to victory in 2020. In a new interview with NBC News, Biden's principal deputy campaign manager acknowledged that for the president to win again in 2024, his team, quote, has to have a long, sustained conversations with African Americans in their communities and can't simply, quote, parachute in around election time.
No.
This comes after a recent survey from the New York Times and Siena College showed Biden's seating support from Black, battleground state voters to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. For more on that, let's bring in opinion editor at the Washington Post.
This was earlier in the year. This shit was already starting to shake itself out.
McHammond, her latest piece is entitled, Democrats Need to Get Real, about RFK Jr.'s strength with black voters. Alexi, where is it coming from?
Hey, well, thank you so much for having me. I mean, I think what Joe said is right. So a couple of disclaimers off the top. Polls are not gospel. It's a year out, and black voters are not a monolith. But one thing that is clear in polling trends, focus group trends, and otherwise is that black voters and other voters are looking for an alternative. Black voters have long felt and said and showed us that they feel taken for granted by the Democratic Party. We've seen the ways in which VP Harris hasn't been supported as much as some folks would like by the Democratic Party, by President Biden. And the real kicker with RFK Jr., and something that is particularly unique to him, is that he taps into this deep-seated, deep-rooted medical skepticism that a lot of black folks across the country feel, rightfully so. There has been medical racism going back, to the 1800s through now. There is ample reason why folks might feel distrustful of their healthcare providers or of what even the government is telling us we should do with our bodies with respect to vaccines.
Tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, that was the earlier concern because that JFK guy, whatever the hell, these Kennedys, man, they know damn better either. He was getting some steam, okay? He was nipping at Biden's support as well. So black people were looking at him. Of course, he's into the whole issues around vaccines and what have you. But I'm going to say this again. Black people, why do we rally around anybody who does not present us a black agenda? I'm tired of trickle down politics, meaning if I do this for this group and that group and this group and this group and Americans, it's going to eventually get to y'all black folks too. Why do we go for this trickle down politics? And why do we go for people who just say some things that sound good to us, but we never hold them to the foot as it relates to what we want, what we desire, what we need right down now?
Information is power.
I just want to know that. Can someone explain that to me? In the chat room, I appreciate that. We got Owens in the house. If Trump wins, it won't be because I voted for him. I will. Let me see. Juan says no tangibles, no black vote. Yeah, no tangibles, no black vote. D. Allen Warren says salute information man. Thank you for being here. Brown Betty View says, let me see. It's up to us to nominate the candidate. Right, but a lot of times you got to keep this real. Most of these candidates, you do realize that you got to have millions and millions of dollars, damn near billions of dollars, to become president of this country. So the system is rigged. It's rigged to allow people who come from Ivy League schools. What are the Ivy League schools? Yale, Harvard. They get the connections there. They rub elbows with people who have money. You got to have money. You can't be a hot dog salesman with a man who sells hot dogs with a stand one day and say you're going to run for president tomorrow. It costs money, and you got to have the right political connections. And that's the problem with the system. The system is broken because you got to have some kind of connection to the people who have ran the system into the ground when it comes benefiting us. The system is doing exactly what it was meant to do. The system was designed for rich men. Let me give you some history lesson here, just so people remind people of this. Do you realize that originally in this country, only landowners and white men who owned slaves and had plantations and that were wealthy, only landowners were allowed to vote and had the political power in this country? It is still no different today. Most of the people that are in power running this ship are running it to benefit them. It was never designed to benefit us. Don't get caught up in this thing called Republican clans and Democrats. They're the same bird or the same two wings. One called the Republicans, one called the Democrats. One screws you with Vaseline. Y'all, that's the Democrats. And the other screws you without Vaseline. That's the Republican, and tells you, did you like it? This political system has been designed to benefit the rich, the wealthy, the influential, and the connected. Why you think most of these billionaires in America, like the Bezos of the world, ain't really paying no taxes? They got everything in sheltered with their money. Why me and you go to jail if we don't pay our taxes. The system is broken. You cannot have justice and equality in a system that is broken. The system must be gotten rid of and built all over again from scratch. As long as we got the system we got, the average, everyday working man and woman will get nothing. Matter of fact, they don't even need us anymore. They're animating everything. Let's get back to it. I want y'all to check out this video. So remember, over the last few weeks, and a lot of this, I gotta give a shout out to Phil, because I know Phil's been going hard on this issue on his podcast every night. So his podcast has inspired me to do what I'm doing today, and I'm going to give him a shout out. But remember, they're talking about black people. They just parachute in. Whenever there's an election, here comes the Republicans going to churches, going to barbershops. All of a sudden, they want to be around black folks. All of a sudden, Joe Biden's going back to South Carolina, where it was all rigged for him the first time, making it look like, oh, he's going to shore up some things. Check this out. Have y'all seen this video?
Biden back in South Carolina.
I heard about this place.
His first stop, a black-owned barbershop in downtown Columbia, in re-election mode with his focus on young and...
So they come to the black barbershop. This is the game. This is the playbook of the Democratic Party. Go to the barbershop and then go to the church. They go to the church because they know they can manipulate the preachers, give them their butter biscuits, because they know that the preachers have the ear of black people, but they have the ear of old black people. They don't have the ear of young black people. They have the ear of you baby boomers. I'm sorry.
Black voters whose support has been slipping.
With the Palestinian-Israel war going on, I think my view personally has shifted on Biden.
Gen Z, we want to see things getting done.
Boom. This brother right here is a Gen Z. He says, we want to see things getting done. Okay?
It's been slipping.
With the Palestinian-Israel war going on, I think my view personally has shifted on Biden.
Gen Z, we want to see things getting done and not just hearing about pro-America, pro-freedom, and pro-democracy.
How's everybody?
16-term Congressman Jim Clyburn leading the charge for Biden here, just as he did 4 years ago.
There's no better way for good people to break their silence than to march to the ballot boxes.
An NBC News survey in November showed 61% of black voters would choose Biden over a Republican. In 2020, NBC News exit polls showed Biden won 87% of the black vote. What does he need to do to make people...
What I want to do is I want to give a lot of respect and love to everybody in the chat room. We got Wellness with Fugo Mama. Definitely love her channel and what she does over there. We got GA, Brother Frazier in the house. Cap, PY2, has been following me for a long time. Patty's Kitchen, Garden, and more. Love you. Another CG. Thank you. Mo is coming in the house. Fierce for reading. All of you all are great folks in the chat room. You make this chat room how it goes. You're intelligent. You're fierce. You know exactly what's going on. You're informed. And that's what it's really all about. We need to be using these platforms while we still got them, because you know they're going to get rid of some of us. And hey, that doesn't mean I can't be gotten rid of, because you know how YouTube is. But we need to be using these platforms while we have them to inform, enlightening, and educate and unify our people to what's really going on so we don't get the wool pulled over our eyes. Now, here you got Clyburn. You know how I feel about him already. Butter biscuits are good. Let's go. And remember, I did a video on this channel about how Clyburn has been undermining the black community in South Carolina, which he represents. I did a whole video on him and the things he's been doing, the games he's been playing. I tell you again, butter biscuits are good.
Feel like he's done a good job. I think he's done a good job, and that's what we've got to do, is get people to see that.
Clyburn again making the case for Biden in a state where Clyburn is revered, a leading voice in black communities for decades. He calls himself President Biden's validator.
That's what we've got to do between now and November. Tell people what it is that we've done. Tell them what the rescue plan is all about. Tell them what the infrastructure bill is all about.
The campaign also...
This is what I want to say, everybody. This is what bothers me about politics and about politicians. Clyburn is setting up here trying to convince you and me that what Joe Biden's got to do is tell black people about what he has done that benefits us. Check this out, everybody. Let's use some logic here. If Joe Biden is got to tell black people at this point in time what he's done for us, then he hasn't done anything for us. You know why? Because we should already know, because he's had 4 freaking years now. He's going on his last term. Within his 4-year term, black people, as well as his administration and his vice president, who we never see, they should have clearly been pushing the charge to tell us what they've been doing for us instead of waiting until election time because Joe Biden's numbers don't look good. I got the data right here. Let me show you. Remember, in the latest polls, it says Biden loses support amongst black voters. In 2020, he had 87% of the black vote. Now they're saying that it may possibly gone down to 63% just last year in 2023, just last year. That it's a mixed bag. Are y'all with me? Hit 7s in the chat room if you're with the program, if you're at least understanding where I'm going with the program, my premise, what have you. If you got to tell black people, Joe Clyburn, if he's got to tell black people these things now, then you, Clyburn, as well as the Congressional Black Caucus and President Biden have been he has been delinquent in not communicating with voters, and particularly black people. And we already know that the Democrats have a history of being poor messengers, but that's no excuse. Let's get back to this.
Message to young voters with college visits, social media posts, and radio spots. University of South Carolina junior Kyle Brantley supports Biden, but says students want a more visible seat at the table.
When the campaign understands that and realizes that now, and especially moving forward, they'll be able to connect more with the youth voting bloc.
The foundation is already there, and now we just have to get them reelected so that they can continue the work.
Aaron, making South Carolina the first official Democratic primary was also a nod to black voters.
It was, Jose. A campaign official told me that moving South Carolina and Nevada earlier on the calendar elevates the diverse groups that President Biden will need to win in November.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me get ready to play something for you that you need to know. Clyburn is, in my opinion, the Democratic Party right now is in denial. he doesn't believe, he's concerned. He says he's concerned about the numbers going down, but he still believes that Joe Biden's going to be okay. Now, I know that Joe Biden, because someone left a message in the chat room before I went live, I know that he did pretty well in South Carolina just the other day. But I just got finished showing you, or at least playing my man Tim Black, in terms of you can't be fooled by that, because the Democrats, the last time he got South Carolina, there was some shady business going on within what the Democrats were doing down in South Carolina during those primaries. Just because he got South Carolina doesn't mean he's going to win the election, because for most people are saying that South Carolina is going to turn red. What I'm saying to you folks is that I'm not a fan of Donald Trump or the Republicans or politics in general, but we keep voting for a party and we get very little in return. Why we see migrants and other people who come here illegally getting shelter, getting money, getting housing, getting benefits from our tax dollars, getting Social Security numbers. Oh, I got some stuff for you today. It's going to blow you away, blow your socks off. Let me let you check this one out. Clyburn's in denial. Check this out, y'all. This is fair use, with the purpose of news reporting, critical analysis, and here we go.
How concerned are you when it comes to the president's ability to reach black voters? The president has an approval rating of 65% amongst black Americans age 50 and up, but that drops down to 32% amongst black Americans under the age of 50. Are you concerned?
I want to stop that right there. This was the latest poll that was done on ABC News. Your voice, your vote, 2024. President Biden approval rating is 65%, black Americans 50 and up. It's 32% black Americans that are younger. He does not have the younger voters. Folks, I'm sorry, gotta tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Younger voters are not resonating with the Biden administration. And the Biden administration is not registering with younger voters. He thinks because he can go to black churches that resonates. I'm going to say it again, and I don't want to disrespect anybody that goes to church that's Christian or religious. But the fact of the matter is, young people ain't in church like that. The church, I'm sorry, the church ain't speaking to young people like that no more. The majority of the people that you see in church, now I'm not saying that there's not young people in some of these churches, but in terms of large numbers, no. The majority of most churches on Sundays are attended by large numbers of older black folks, particularly your baby boomers and maybe a sprinkle of your Generation Xers like me that are in their 50s. And the majority of those that are in the church are black women, which is why black women, it would resonate with black women when the Democrats go to the church and say things that resonate to black women when black women vote stock, lock, and barrel for the Democratic Party, where black men, we don't. Some of us will vote for the Democratic Party. Some of us will look for other alternatives. Just keep that in mind as you're listening to this.
I'm concerned with the reporting of this. Yes, when I see those numbers, my goodness, if there's any truth to the numbers, which I don't believe them, because I talk to black people all the time. I have 3 black daughters. They tell me differently. My grandchildren tell me differently. So I don't know.
Clyburn just sat up here and told you that he doesn't believe the numbers because he talks to black people all the time. Just let that resonate. And he uses his grandchildren. I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but I got to be factual. He's using his grandchildren and his 3 daughters as the barometer of what's happening with young black people. That is ridiculous. You have 3 daughters and you have grandchildren. That's wonderful, Clyburn. But your 3 daughters and your grandchildren do not represent the thinking and the mindset of all young black people. And this whole idea that you talk to black people all the time, but do you talk to young black people? Because when I see you talking, you're on these damn news shows. And you're usually talking to people that look just like you, Clyburn, that are baby boomers in their 70s, in their late 60s, and maybe a sprinkle of Gen Xers in their mid 50s. I see very little young black people that you're talking to. Matter of fact, when was the last time, ladies and gentlemen, tell me if I'm wrong or right.
Tell the truth.
When was the last time the Congressional Black Caucus held a youth forum to talk to black youth about political issues and televise it on television? When's the last time? I'll wait. It's so much waiting, you're going to hear crickets. Can anybody answer that question? Now, I respect that he has kids and grandkids. He has a legacy. But Clyburn, you can't use your family as your testing strip for what you're talking about, sir. My God. Let's continue.
Where those numbers are coming from, but when you ask a question and someone is basing their opinion on incomplete information or misinformation, and the other side seems to be pretty good at misinformation. We know what happened in the last election. They didn't stop when the election was over. It's still going on now. So there's a lot of misinformation going on out here. There are a lot of things being said that's just not true. And I think that we are going to break through that when it goes one-on-one. We'll see what happens after the South Carolina primary.
Ladies and gentlemen, that you hear what Clyburn said. Now, I have to be honest here. There can be misleading information. That is true. But I think Clyburn is still not operating. I think he's in denial because of his overwhelming support and loyalty to a Jim Crow Biden. But let me let you hear what some other young people had to say. And check this out.
I feel like he represents the young voter demographic at all.
It's the first time Imani Williams and her friends can vote. Dante Parker said a vote for Biden is hardly guaranteed.
We've been stuck in this system for far too long. Maybe we need to venture outside of it to really make some progress now.
The Biden campaign tells CNN it will draw sharp distinctions with Trump and earn the support of voters concerned about their rights, their pocketbooks, and our democracy.
We are not happy with Biden, but we understand that.
Boom, that's key right there. Brother right there says we're not happy with Biden. And I think the Democratic Party needs to take heed to that. See, the voting for black people is starting to morph and change. The younger generation is maturing, and now they're getting a chance to vote. And so the Democratic Party doesn't have the young black voter, female and male, lock, stock, and barrel. They have the older generation who traditionally has always voted. And let me be very certain here that traditionally black people are conservative by culture and lifestyle, not by politics. A lot of people get that mixed up. Black people have always been conservative in our views, traditionally in our families in this country, going all the way back to these black people that you see right here. Old school black folks have always been traditionally conservative. And that's not just conservative as it relates to being Republican. Although a lot of black people were Republicans before they became Democrats. And that's a fact. I'm not going to sit up here and deny that as truth. Let's hear this again.
The other side seem to be pretty good at misinformation. We know what happened in the last election. They didn't stop when the election was over. It's still going on now. So there's a lot of misinformation going on out here. There are a lot of
right. There's a lot of misinformation, but there's also misinformation coming from the Democratic Party as well. The Republicans play games as well, folks. I'm not going to deny that. Everybody's playing games because the whole system in itself is broken. Once again, didn't I say that black men don't vote the same way that black women vote, right? You go to a church, you go to a beautiful church, and you will see a preacher, okay? And some of these preachers are doing good work, and some of them are not doing good work, and some of them are selling us out, and some of them have these mega churches collecting a lot of money, but are not helping the flock that they're supposed to lead.
Jackleg preachers.
In these churches. Some. But black men and black women have very different political ideas and views and ideologies. And if you notice, the Democratic Party tends to gravitate more towards black women and less towards black men. It's as if they don't want to address our issues as well. But check this out. I want you to hear this right here from these brothers right here.
A little bit more complicated. I'm thinking about housing and access to housing. I wonder if it's a little more complicated.
Economic prosperity. I mean, black men are trending more towards the right, like men generally speaking. I think black men, if you look at some focus group data, they do sort of feel this sense that they're being neglected, that they're being ignored by Democrats.
What did I just say? That black men have felt like they're being ignored and taken for granted. This is a fact. To the sisters out there listening, this is a fact. It's a fact.
And anytime they talk about black men, it's only under the guise of criminal justice reform, as if that is the only thing that impacts us. I've never been to prison, nor have my good friend Robert here. And so I would just say quickly here, Leland, overall, Democrats do have a problem with a certain sector.
That is actually true, ladies and gentlemen. When they tend to talk about political projects relating to black men, in particular, it's always around criminal justice. We know that the criminal justice system in this country is broken. That's a fact. But everything tends to be towards the criminal justice system and not jobs and programs and entrepreneurship and how we could change some of the racism that goes on with Wells Fargo Bank, allegedly, and other banking systems that will keep black people from getting proper loans to build a business, and also black people are being discriminated against to get loans to build up a existing business as well, folks. These are things we have to be honest about. And the Joe Biden administration said that he was going to be the justice president, and yet he disbanded a project to hold police accountable. Matter of fact, he upped their budget. Let's hear this, brothers, again.
Of African Americans. While many black people continuously vote Democratic, there is a possibility with the right message, with the right policy positions, particularly those that are focused on economics, for more black men to say, you know what, I'm going to give something else a try.
He's right. Black people, if you give us something tangible, if you give us something that definitely will benefit us directly, not indirectly, we might just give you our support, but we need what you say you're going to do to become a reality. That's what we've been wanting. Check this out. Clyburn again.
Speak with us right now. I do want to ask you, in recent months,
you told one of our colleagues that you're confident that black voters are going to turn out in force for President Biden. But on this most recent Sunday, you said that you're, quote, very concerned about black voters showing up for the president. What changed, sir?
Well, thank you very much for having me. Nothing changed. My concern is much more with black voters getting the right information, getting all of the information so that they will be informed voters. That's my concern. I believe very strongly that this president has done what is necessary to earn the support of African Americans all over this country. But I'm also concerned that when we report these results, they don't always tell the full story. And student loan debt relief is one of the best examples I can think of. The president attempted to reduce and eliminate the student loan debt in 5 different categories. He got sued in one category and was stopped from doing so. He pursued the other 4, which resulted in $132 billion in.
Everybody, I hear what Clyburn is saying. He's talking about the student loan debt. And yes, we do have black people that are students, but that still is what I call trickle-down politics. We're looking for specific that benefits us as black people. Now, this is the thing. Everything that Clyburn is explaining about what the Democratic Party has done within the 4 years so far, going on 4 years of Joe Biden, why is it that most people don't know this? What is it that the Democrats are not doing to convey what they're doing? It goes back to what I said before. They're terrible messengers. They don't message well, and they wait for election day to tell you what you should know that they didn't tell you and should have told you for the previous 3 years of the administration serving this country. I'm going to say this again. You've got migrants in Chicago. You got migrants, illegal migrants, invading places like New York, places like Chicago, where Brandon Johnson is. I'm going to be getting on these damn mayors. I got very explosive information for you all today. Don't go nowhere. You got these people coming in, busting, whatever, and none of these damn mayors of these Democratic cities have turned these buses around and sent these people back. They're draining on the social systems that people that live there, like black folks, have been trying to get benefits from and can't get anything, and they didn't pay taxes. The citizens of this country, you got black folks who fought wars for this country, and you let these migrants come in, get them a nice cushy place to sleep, right? Like this shelter. Remember I did that video, what was it, a year or 2 years ago? Do y'all remember that video I did where they were trying to set up a migrant camp in New York while you had black men at a rundown shelter with no rec room, nasty chairs, rotten macaroni and cheese, small little busted up TV, and the migrants got Xboxes, foosball, laundromats in there, nice cushy material, just like this. It was just like this. Sofas and every damn thing. And then this man right here, the Mayor Adams of New York, sat up there, I played it on the video, and told people, I don't want to get into who's getting what and who's not getting what. Remember this raccoon said that? Butter biscuits are good. Butter biscuits are good. How many of y'all remember that? Put them 7s in the chat room if y'all remember what I'm talking about. You had black men who complained and said they couldn't get none of those benefits, but the potential migrants were going to get all the benefits. And Adams had the nerve to tell us black people and tell New Yorkers, where black men represent 56% or now it's 57% of the damn homelessness in New York. He gonna tell people, I don't want to get into who's getting what and who's not getting this. I tell you, Butter Biscuits are good. I'm telling y'all the truth here. And so now we got Clyburn whistling the same old Dixie.
Loan debt relief for 3.4 million people. That never gets reported.
Yeah, no doubt.
Only report the lawsuit.
Okay, but check this out, Clyburn. Why do you need the news to report it? You a damn congressman. You got the damn president's ear. Why don't the administration, why don't Biden, Kamala Harris, and the administration, why don't y'all come on TV? Why don't y'all go out there and tell people what you've been doing and don't wait until election time to do it? Y'all should have been beating this drum from day one. And see, this is the thing. I'm not a big fan of the Republican Party, but the one thing I can say about the Republican Party, they will keep a message going for 4 years. Even if they lying about some shit, y'all. You got to give it to the Republicans. They will get on every talk show and they'll keep pushing the same message for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. They'll keep pushing the message. But the Democrats, they sit back silent and assume everybody knows what the hell is going on. And then when it come election year, they want to come running to barber shops, churches, black churches, and things of this nature. Come running to black churches so that they can get the jack-a-leg preachers to do their bidding.
Jack-leg preachers.
What's going on, Lil Rock? 2517 Cap. If y'all are enjoying the podcast today, hit those sevens in the chat room. If I'm hitting on some things that's resonating with you, let's continue this right here, and I'll be back with more.
You make a good point. And also, certainly, Republicans oppose the president.
Reliable. Good to see you.
Related to student loans, though. But as you speak about these concerns
your parent
right now,
advocate.
What
Good to see you.
specifically can the president do? What does he need to do to ease your concerns?
Alicia, good to see you.
What he's done in the last two big speeches. I think the speech up there after Valley Forge was a great speech. The speech at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston was even greater.
No, it wasn't.
Valley Forge was a great speech. The speech at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston was even greater.
No,
he took the
that's the church right there.
Offered by Valley Forge, by George Washington, and localize it to current conditions as demonstrated at the event that happened at Emmanuel Church. And so this is what I think needs to be done for the president to continue to forcefully speak out on these issues that are threatening the people of this country with their freedoms and with the democracy that we all hold dear. That, to me, demonstrates that the president is on.
Respectfully, Clyburn, I can't listen to anything that you're saying because you've done a lot of shady stuff to impact your own people in South Carolina that have put your ass in office all these years. It's more bibble babble. This conversation should have been a conversation, like I said, that they should have been telling black folks every year about what they're doing. Like I said again, the Republicans have no problem beating the drum and repeating over and over again what they're about, even if what they're saying is a potential lie. Now, I'm going to show you some things that's going to blow you away. Kakari Sellers was on CNN, and he basically, ladies and gentlemen, come closer, come closer. Bakari Sellers basically gave away the blueprint for how they manipulate black voters by way of the black preachers, and how they use the black preachers to manipulate black people in our votes, even though we know that a lot of young people are not in these churches in high numbers as older people are. But this is the game that they play. And I want you to hear this. This is Bakari Sellers, and he's talking real buck dancing. He's talking like a real, can I have my buttermilk biscuits, y'all? But what was powerful about it is he gave away the blueprint. Check this out, y'all. Check it out.
Comment on the UAW piece. I thought the most noteworthy thing that happened was he got the endorsement, and then the president of UAW went on TV and said, just to be clear, a majority of my members are going to vote for Donald Trump. And I think that's the problem for President Biden in this race right now. The institutional elites in many institutions, they do support Joe Biden. But the people right now are very, very nervous about his leadership and his ability to do the job. And for him.
Boom. What he's basically saying is that the political elites have no problem with supporting him. These are what is he basically telling you? These are the people that's in the know. I told you it's a system that only the rich and the wealthy and the influential benefit from. So the people that's in the know, that's in the inner circle, they're supporting him. But what they're concerned about is that the people, who are the people? That's me, that's you. That's everybody that's every day working and trying to make a living out here. We're the ones that have the larger numbers and determine these, or appear like we can determine an election based on who they select for us, of course. This is what this man's talking about. Check it out.
To make that comment shortly after that, I mean, it took all the air out of the balloon.
But I think it piggybacks what you were saying as well, that you get the endorsement, now you have to go into the union halls. And what Donald Trump is doing, what Joe Biden is doing and Kamala Harris are both doing is they're penetrating those areas now. I mean, he's literally in South Carolina as we speak. He was in South Carolina last night. He went to beauty salons. He's actually on the ground doing things that he wasn't able to do in 2020, which is, you're correct. Once you get the institution, like once you get the black pastor, that's the grass top. Now you got to get the people in the pews.
Boom! Boom, everybody. Did you hear what he said? Alert, 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 alert. Did you hear what Bakari Sellers, the rack? Did you hear what he said? Butter biscuits are good. Did you hear what he said? Once you get the black preachers, now you get the people in the pews, and now you can get the black community.
Jack-leg preachers.
Are you really understanding what he's saying here, y'all? Listen to this again. I'm going to play it again on that part. Hit 7s if it's resonating with you, what he's saying.
Both doing is they're penetrating those areas now. I mean, he's literally in South Carolina as we speak. He was in South Carolina last night. He went to beauty salons. He's actually on the ground doing things that he wasn't able to do in 2020, which is, you're correct. Once you get the institution, like once you get the black pastor, that's the grass top. Now you got to get the people in the pews. You got to get the women who wear the big hats. When you hug them, they smell like Chanel No. 5 all day long, or they use a full stick of butter in their sweet potato pies. So you actually have.
Boom. That's the disrespect, y'all. Listen to what he said. What did I just say? They know that the churches are full of women. Bakari Sellers is an insider, right? He's one of these raccoon, one of these racks here, right? Yeah, do y'all get what I'm saying? Okay, get it out of your ear. Get your ears cleaned out so y'all can hear the message that I'm saying here.
Tell the truth.
Bakari Sellers says, you get the preachers, that's top root. Then you get the people in the pews. You get the women with the hats and the butter sticks for the pies. This is real stereotypical stuff he's saying here. And then if you get them, you got the black vote, because black women voted for Joe Biden at 93%, higher than black men at 83% in 2020. They know that they got to get the black vote, but they particularly got to get the black female vote. And they know that the black females, or the older generation that does vote, that does tend to vote more than the younger generation, traditionally, are in those churches. But he's not getting primarily the youth. And though that's the vote where he's dipping, y'all. Bakari Sellers really gives us the blueprint. He gives us the raccoon blueprint, y'all. Let's hear just him again.
Both doing is they're penetrating those areas now. I mean, he's literally in South Carolina as we speak. He was in South Carolina last night. He went to beauty salons. He's actually on the ground doing things that he wasn't able to do in 2020, which is, you're correct. Once you get the institution, like once you get the black pastor, that's the grass top. Now you got to get the people in the pews. You got to get the women who wear the big hats. When you hug them, they smell like Chanel No. 5 all day long, or they use a full stick of butter in their sweet potato pies. So you actually have to go out and visit with those people, and that's what Joe Biden's doing. He's doing it in South Carolina with the black vote. He has to do it in Detroit and other places with the union.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my question for all of you in the chat room. Why is it that why does it have to be around? Let me correct what I'm saying here. Once again, only around election time do they put these type of black men on TV to start talking and describing what is the black community or what is black women or black men. You see all of this, the big hats and the big stick of butter in the pies. All that wasn't necessary, man. And why is it that they only want to come around and talk to us or our women or our grandmothers when it's election time? Why hadn't Biden met and connected with black people prior to all of this, man? To keep his base strong. Let's see right here. He's full of it. Yeah, he's full of it. Let me read some more here. Bakari sellout. Yeah. I use a full stick of butter often. Yes, very. Okay. But still, this is all about this is like they rush to us at the last minute because his numbers were going down. And his numbers are going down primarily because there's a lot of black people that are disillusioned about what the Joe Biden administration has done for them. And we're becoming more disillusioned about their administration because as we see what's happening to black people in Boston with these migrants, Chicago with the migrants, San Francisco, now you got New York, how it's impacting our communities. And I'm going to show you that today before we end this program. I talked about this. Let me see what Sister Reviews was. So make sure you check out Sister Reviews channel too. I talked about this same topic on my channel. Thank you, Sister, for doing that. Clap to you. Thank you. Oh, Reliable, thank you for being here. We got Kimmy in the house. Let me see. She says, I can't believe how they talk and insult us. Facts, my sister. It's facts. Oh, Reliable's in the house. Sea Breeze 40 is in the house here saying, let me see this. Biden is old, but so is they're both old. So this whole notion about Biden is old, damn it, Trump is old. Every time Trump talks, he's breathing like he's got a tube in his mouth. We have a situation in this country where we got two senile men, one man who's looks like he's got some dementia in Joe Biden, another man in Donald Trump who is crazy like a fox and lies like a Pinocchio, nose growing long, both two old dudes. So this is the alternative. Joe Biden, who's damn near hitting 80, and also Trump, who's two old dudes who need to both go somewhere and sit down. We need new candidates. But today, this is about Joe Biden and what has he done for black people. And this is the thing. While black people are under siege by these migrants, What's happening let me tell you what's happening with the migrants in Chicago, New York. These migrants are getting into fights in New York. The migrants got into a situation where they released them. If it was a black person, they would keep our ass in jail. We got migrants in Chicago that's attacking people, threatening people, and using drugs out there in the streets. There's all sort of foolishness going on with some of these migrants that's here. They should be gotten rid of and taken out of here. We got Reckless in the house who says he agreed. Agreed. Thank you, my man. Let me see. I'll take Trump over Biden. I'll tell you what I'll take, my sister. I will take the system being broken and a brand new one being built, because the system overall is broken. But here we go, setting up here, and we got black people being put upon in these democratic cities, and the Biden administration has done nothing to give relief to those cities where black people are living who are his constituents. He's done nothing to do anything tangible at the border. I thought Kamala Harris was supposed to be dealing with that. What's going on? This is why Joe Biden is losing the black vote. It's not only because black people are fed up, tired, feel like we're not getting anything for our vote, no tangibles, but black folks are also seeing how other groups come over here and get tangibles while we're told, just stay back. How do y'all feel about that? I got some more for you. This whole situation, the jack-a-leg preachers, y'all.
Jack-a-leg preachers. Jack-a-leg preachers.
Talking about how Bakari Seller says you get the preachers. Bakari Seller says you get the preachers. You get them at the top roots. You get the pews. You get the older women with the hats and the stick of butter in their pies, and you get the black community. You go to the black barber shops, and then this is how Joe Biden and the Democrats and politicians in general are able to play a woo over our eyes, because you get the preachers. You get them on board to engage in the BS. Check this out while they're praying. These are the preachers that are praying for Joe Biden. Check this out. Why don't these black preachers come together and pray for black folks in these cities that are being inundated by these migrants and being put upon? And why don't these damn preachers pray and fight for the reparations and for what black people who have built this country are due? Because these right here are our ancestors. Don't they matter? Don't they matter, folks? Come on now, put sevens in the chat room. Don't these ancestors matter? Don't we matter? But other groups can come over here and get all the tangibles while we got jack-a-leg preachers.
Jack-a-leg preachers.
Setting up here praying for Joe Biden, Jim Crow Biden. Check it out.
Yes, please. Father God, this place is holy. So whatever we've done it on holy ground. We ask you to take care of this leader. Lord, bless him. Strengthen him. Let him ignore the foolishness that comes from the foolish.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say the same thing that Phil said, and shout out to Phil because he played this on his channel as well. So shout out to him. This is fair use with the purpose of news reporting, parody, critical analysis. I'm going to say the same thing that Phil said on his channel. I guess he's talking about us. I'm one of the foolish. I guess that's what the preacher is saying when he says the foolish.
Jack-a-leg preachers.
He's talking about us. He's talking about me. He's talking about many of us who are speaking out.
Let him ignore the foolishness that comes from the foolish. Give ear to those who are wise to experience.
Yes.
Give him strength. Give him wisdom. Let him trust you to bring him this far.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if these jack-a-leg preachers were wise, you would think they would use their years of wisdom to know that the Democrats have been taking us for granted and been bullshitting us. And the preachers, with all their so-called wisdom,
jack-leg preachers,
should do something to unite a fire in the Democrats' ass to do what is due us. Now, I got to be fair here because check this out. You know what the preachers are doing? They're putting pressure on the Joe Biden administration to do a ceasefire in Gaza. So they got all their energy on the Gaza. And don't get me wrong, I don't like seeing nobody be harmed in war. I don't want to see any of it. But I did a video on this. Do you know that black Palestinians and black people that are Jewish over there get treated horrifically racist? They deal with racism from both these groups. So the black Palestinians are being treated poorly with racism from the Palestinians themselves, who we're supposed to set up here and be in solidarity with. And then Israel is also racist towards its black population as well. And yet we got black preachers talking about, let's pray for Joe Biden, and they're saying, let's have a ceasefire on what's happening. I get it. They're preachers. They're clergymen. They're supposed to push peace and goodwill. I get it. But why is it that none of these jack-a-leg preachers, why are they not pushing anything for black people? And why are they not saying anything about what's happening to black people in some of these democratic cities where we're being put upon by these damn migrants?
Jack-leg preachers.
Now listen to them pray for this man some more.
Believe him now. Yes. Let us worship what we believe. And let what we believe be true. Keep the President of the United States whole. Yes. Guide him, protect him, and lead him. And when he wakes up on the 6th of November and declares victory, let's let him know God did it because God wanted it. In Jesus' name and the name of all those who come before us, let us pray. Amen. Amen.
What did I say, y'all? What did Bakari Seller say? What did he say? Do we need to hear it again? One more time?
Both doing is they're penetrating those areas now. I mean, he's literally in South Carolina as we speak. He was in South Carolina last night. He went to beauty salons. He's actually on the ground doing things that he wasn't able to do in 2020, which is, you're correct. Once you get the institution, like once you get the black pastor, that's the grass top. Now you got to get the people in the pews. You got to get the women who wear the big hats. When you hug them, they smell like Chanel No. 5 all day long, or they use a full stick of butter in their sweet potato pies. So you actually have to go out and visit with them.
Let what we believe be true. Keep the President of the United States whole. Yes. Guide him, protect him, and lead him. And when he wakes up on the 6th of November and declares victory, let's let him know God did it because God wanted it. In Jesus' name and the name of all those who come before us, let us pray. Amen. Amen.
I just have a question, ladies and gentlemen, for those preachers. Why would God be concerned about politics, something that humans have created on earth? Why would God be concerned about Joe Biden? Why would God be concerned about any earthly things that humans have come up with that we think is important? Just a question to all of you in the chat room, a pondering. What are your thoughts? Put those sevens out there. I hope this is resonating with you in the chat room, everyone that's listening. I got more for you. We're getting close to conclusion, but I got so much more hot button stuff. Now, remember, Joe Biden went to that church. He went to the church in South Carolina where we had 9 beautiful black people who were massacred. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 9 beautiful black people that were massacred by that white supremacist who talk about, is America a racist country or not? Remember when Dylan Roof took the lives of these beautiful black people who were praying in church? The damn racist police in South Carolina got that kid a Burger King, y'all. That's right.
Tell the truth.
Do y'all remember that? They gave Dylan Roof a Burger King. Said to Dylan Roof, "You want a Burger King? A Burger King? Do you want some a Whopper? Some fries? A shake to go with that? Do fries go with that shake? Huh? Can you believe that, folks? Dylan Racist Roof, who there were all sorts of manifestos that this kid, this monster, was a white supremacist. He was a racist. And so Joe Biden went into that church, which I'm going to tell you right now, it was inappropriate for him to go into that church and talk political shit. When the lives of, and there was very little talked about the people who lost their lives in that church. All of this scenery, all of this theater that was put on, and it was a disrespect to the black people that died in this church. Check this out.
I've spent more time in the Bethel AME Church in Wilmington, Delaware than I have than most people I know, black or white, have spent in that church. Because that's why I started a civil, no, I'm serious. I started a civil rights movement. I used to go to 7:30.
Oh, no.
Is power.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take the wax out of your ear and definitely listen real good to what Joe Biden said. Oh my God. Do you believe what he said? Listen again.
I've spent more time in the Bethel AME Church in Wilmington, Delaware than I have than most people I know, black or white, have spent in that church. Because that's why I started a civil, no, I'm serious. I started a civil rights movement. I used to go to 7:30 Mass.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This man is trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that he started the civil rights movement down there in South Carolina near one of the churches near Bethlehem. Did y'all hear what he just said? He said he started a civil rights movement. When the hell have you ever heard in the history books of Joe Biden starting a civil rights movement? Joe Biden is the same man who crafted and signed, along with Strom Thurmond, the crime bill in 1984 with that racist right there. The same Joe Biden that hung out with the Dixiecrats of the world like Strom Thurmond is now sitting up here having the nerve to tell you that he started the civil rights movement, or he was one of the people that started a civil rights movement in South. That's a bold-faced lie.
Spent in that church. Because that's why I started a civil, no, I'm serious. I started a civil rights movement. I used to go to 7:30 Mass.
Ladies and if you just heard what Joe Biden just said about starting a civil rights movement, or that he started a civil rights movement, put sevens in the chat room if you heard this bullshit coming out of his mouth.
In that church. Because that's why I started a civil, no, I'm serious. I started a civil rights movement. I used to go to 7:30 Mass.
Joe Biden has been saying this for a number of years. He's been talking about how he was heavily involved in the civil rights movement. The same Joe Biden who said in 1971 that his kids, when it came to busing, that his kids would be forced into a racial jungle. He used those words. You can look it up. The same Joe Biden who used that I'm afraid that we're going to force my kids, your kids, into a racial jungle. The same Joe Biden who crafted that damn bill, and your first black president, as they called Bill Clinton. See, as much as we talk about Joe Biden crafting the crime bill, why don't we also put some blame on Bill Clinton, who signed the damn bill? Remember, it was crafted in 84, and over a period of time, as they were crafting it, and it effectively became what? First, it becomes a bill. They have to work through the bill and work it up to become what? A law. And then once it's passed into being a law, Come on, y'all. I'm pretty sure most of y'all are old enough to remember those Saturday morning cartoons where they used to have that cartoon. I'm just a bill. Oh, I'm just a bill, but I gotta be a law. Civics. So remember, he was crafting it back in '84, but still working on it over a period of time. And then once it worked itself up to become from a bill to a law, eventually as the years went on, and I believe, if I'm not correct, it was Bill. Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me in the chat room. But eventually it was Bill Clinton who eventually, once it worked itself up over the years to become a law, he signed it into law. That was Bill Clinton. Am I correct or not? Schoolhouse Rock. That's right. Somebody in the chat room, am I correct? Wasn't it Bill Clinton who actually signed as the craft bill was being crafted and more things were being added to it, like putting black men in prison for 25 years?
Tell the truth.
For crack cocaine versus powder coke, if a white boy got caught with powder cocaine, he'd just get community service.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
And Joe Biden sitting up here lying to you, talking about he started the civil rights movement in South Carolina. Where in the history books have we read that? Huh? Can somebody please help me here?
Black or white have spent in that church. Because that's why I started no, I'm serious. I started a civil rights movement. I used to go to 7:30 Mass, then I'd go to 10 o'clock
liar
service with the Reverend who was then running the church, is now the bishop.
What a liar.
He's a bishop, and I'm told your bishop had been there before in South Africa. That's where he is right now. The point is that I've been blessed to worship here before as well. It's at moments of joy and great joy, and moments of great pain, moments of unbearable loss.
Now, folks, while you hear Joe Biden talking all this nonsense, while he's talking, I'm going to put up these sliders of all these migrants who have impacted black people in these major cities. So while he's talking all this talk, why is it none of these preachers are telling him, man, what you going to do about what's happening to black people in these cities?
On June 17, 2015, the beautiful souls, 5 survivors, invited a stranger into this church to pray with them. The word of God was pierced by bullets of hate, of rage, propelled by...
Let me say something. See, this is disrespectful. Joe Biden just said that they invited this white supremacist into no, he walked into the church, Joe Biden. And when he walked into the church, they thought that he was there to pray along with them. They didn't just say, oh, come on in. It wasn't like they just picked him off the streets and said, yeah, we're inviting you to come over and pray. He came in. And like anybody, it's a church, you figure a person's there to worship. And y'all gave him a Burger King.
Not just gunpowder, but by a poison. Poison that's for too long haunted this nation.
Okay, here he goes.
What is that poison? White supremacy. Oh, it is. It's a poison. Throughout our history.
So as Joe Biden tells you that white supremacy is a poison, you notice he never tells you what he's going to do about it. Why is it that the Ku Klux Klan has a 50C non-profit status, ladies and gentlemen? Why is it that none of these groups have been declared as terrorists, and therefore as being seen as terrorists, they can't do what? Come together, group together. There should be a law to ban them from ever being able to come together under their banner. Where's the laws, Joe Biden? Where is the executive order to declare these groups like the Boogaloo Boys, the Proud Boys, as what? As not just hate groups, but terrorist groups. Therefore, they can't operate as an organization. They can't collect money as a nonprofit. So he tells you what's going on, but yet he offers no solution to the problem as president. Just like when he went to Tulsa, Oklahoma to to recognize the massacre there. And you had Sister Viola, who's one of the living descendants of it, because she lived through it as a child with her brother, and they can't even get reparations. And Joe Biden's administration didn't even offer the people in Tulsa, Oklahoma, any reparations. But yet these migrants come over here, like you see on these pictures, and they can get services. They can get housing. They can get shelter. They can come into these cities all across the country like this, go into places like Chicago, right? New York. Boston right now is off the hook right now, from what I understand. Black people are saying, look, we can't handle these people here. These are black people right here in Chicago that you're looking at Woodlawn, that warned Lightfoot when she was Larry Lightfoot or Laura Lightfoot, Beetlejuice and all that sort of stuff. Warned her. Right? Black people, we paid our dues. We should have some comfort, like these young men playing the video game. We should be able to have some goddamn comfort, all the things that we've done in this society. But these people come over here and talk to black folks like we're not nothing. Let me let you see this video right here. Check this out. This was in Chicago. This migrant had the nerve to tell black people in Chicago, no money for you. Y'all lazy, no money for you. Yet he brought his ass over here illegally, talking shit to black folks in a country that we built, in a country that we fought for, we laid blood and shed bloodshed, and have a historical history in this country. As I show you these photos right here, for example, we have a historical history in this country, and these suckers come over here like yesterday, going to a council meeting, which he had no business being in because he ain't a goddamn citizen of the country, talking shit to black folks in Chicago. Watch this.
You working. No more money for you. Bye-bye. Go back across the No more money for you. No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. No more money for you.
So you can see one of these Chicago migrants is talking about, you lazy, no money for you. What the hell is he talking about? See, these people bring their anti-black sentiments over with them. Let me just say this to everybody out there. When these people come over here, this ain't no black and brown coalition. All you got to do is look at how black people that look like us are treated in these Latin countries. So when you look at South America, you look at Mexico, the black Mexicans, when you look at how they're treating those black people in those countries, you can expect that that's how they're going to look at us in a country that we was born in and built, and we're here. You see, this is why Dr. Claude Anderson warned us. And your black mayors are selling us out. And I'm going to show you and put a website in the chat room that I want everybody to look at, how these damn mayors across the country, black mayors in particular, are selling us out for these people. Continue.
Has ripped this nation apart. It says no place in America. Not today, tomorrow, or ever. From that day, this nation saw this congregation, this community, demonstrate one of the greatest acts of strength I have ever seen. I mean it sincerely.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop it right there, because during his speech at the church, which I felt this was a disrespect. They should have never had him there to give these political speeches at a church where black people die and black people are not getting tangibles in this country under his administration. And you see what's happening to black people in some of these Democratic-run states. And let me hold your horses, everybody. Wait until I tell you the statistical breakdown of black people that are homeless in these cities while they're giving these migrants benefits, our damn benefits.
Tell the truth.
It ain't funny.
The act of forgiveness, the act of grace. It was as President Obama sang from here, Amazing Grace. You changed hearts. You did something.
No, ladies and gentlemen, don't go for the okey doke. Don't go for the jack-o'-lantern preacher stuff. Barack Obama going to that church, singing Amazing Grace and giving us an Al Green rendition, an Al Green edition. It might have made to hear him sing soul music. It might have been cool to see a president singing soul music, but it didn't do absolutely nothing to benefit or to help the people who lost their family members. It did not benefit that black community in South Carolina in the long run. It ain't benefiting black people in the long run today. Black people, we don't need singing. We don't need symbolism. We don't need any of this shit. We need the damn tangibles. We need the damn check to be cut.
Tell the truth.
Information
You
is
brought
power.
down the Confederate flag in South Carolina. You brought it down. No, you did. And you helped the nation heal. You showed what America can overcome, what we can be when we want to be.
Bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what else happened. During this speech, there was a protest, another disrespect to the memory of these beautiful black people right here. I'm going to put it up again. It's a disrespect to you. I'm going to put these young black people up here. These are the young black people that he's not getting the vote from, that are saying, we're not feeling Joe Biden. These are the young black people you see in Chicago, for example, right? Beautiful young black people. But Joe Biden, his playbook is running out on him. Because while he got the talking in there, the memory of these beautiful black people was overlooked and was disrespected. While we got preachers talking about putting pressure on Joe Biden to do ceasefire in Gaza, we got people who were in this church who got up, were protesting for the Gaza situation against Joe Biden while he was talking, which was a disrespect to the memory of the black people who died in the church. That should be sacred ground in there. Check this out. So if you look at this audience in here, there's no young people in here, just a bunch of old folks in this crowd. And the people that were doing the protesting, obviously they were a little bit younger. Now, it was a combination of white folks and a black girl that was sprinkled in with this nonsense. But this is a disrespect to the memory of these beautiful black people to come into this church where black people were killed by a racist white supremacist. This sucker right here who he gave a Burger King to come in there and do this and not respect the holy ground of the black people that were killed there, to push the agenda about what's happening in Gaza in a place where black Palestinians and black Jewish people deal with racism from both of these damn groups. To set up there and do this was a disrespect to the memory. This whole political theater that was going on here was a disrespect. Check this out when I say political theater. So, ladies and gentlemen, while they talk about 4 more years for Joe Biden, that's political. None of this stuff should be going on in this church. This is a church. This ain't no political hall. And I also want to say this. Whatever happened with the separation between church and state, whatever happened that when these churches have a 503c status, nonprofit status, they're not supposed to be promoting a particular political ideology. None of them. So that's another thing that's interesting. When these politicians go to churches, it's okay. It's a total disrespect to the memory. The memory, this sucker right here took the life of beautiful black people. These black people right here, whose memory should be respected. In my mind, that whole thing was disrespectful. What do you say? If you agree with me, put 7s in the chat room. What's going on, everybody? I see we got CRU Reality in here, GA. We got Spot in here, Jill's Chocolate Boutique, Fierce for Reading. All of y'all, thank you for coming over and making this program go like it's been going today. Really appreciate you, but I got some more to blow you away. I got some more for you. Oh, yeah. We getting there, folks. We getting there, but y'all got to see the rest of this. Check this. This is a sister by the name of Sabby. She has a YouTube channel that I follow. She gets into political conversations like this. She says some deep things, and she's about reparations, too.
I've seen voters in Chicago and New York City, African-American voters, very vocal about the fact that migrants have come into their cities and Democrat politicians are giving them benefits that they have never given to African-Americans who actually grew up in those cities and did not come in by way of the border. So that's one of the issues that I think has been a recurring issue ever since previously under Joe Biden's election, since migrants have been coming in. That's one of the big issues that I've been hearing from African-American voters, particularly in those cities. There's also this issue of the fact that you do have organizations like ADOS that also has been addressing the issue of giving African-American descendants of slavery reparations in this country, which has not happened. The U.S. government has not seemed to find a way to atone for slavery for African-Americans in this country, but they have given reparations to other groups. For example, They gave reparations to Japanese Americans that were a part of the Japanese internment camps, and that actually happened under Ronald Reagan. So now we're hearing African-American voters that typically would vote for the Democratic Party become more vocal about the fact that they feel as though we are the last ones on the list when it comes to the agenda for the voters, for the American people, and that other groups are pushed ahead of African Americans. So we're at the bottom. When it comes to the Hispanic voters, I've heard a lot of them be vocal about the fact, again, with the immigration issue, they're complaining that it's not fair that benefits are being offered to migrants when some of them, like, they came into the country legally and they did it the right way. So they feel like it's just not fair that those benefits are given to migrants. But this all points back to the foreign policy issue. The reason why we have an immigration issue in this country that we have right now has to do with the U.S. government's involvement in foreign affairs in these countries. The U.S. government has implemented coups in these countries. They've overthrown leaders. They've stolen their resources. They've implemented sanctions on these countries. They've destroyed their economy. And that's why you have the influx of people coming in at the border. So I think in order to fix the immigration issue in this country, we have to fix the foreign policy decisions that the U.S. government has made in those countries.
On Friday, Joe Biden, his administration went around Congress to approve emergency weapons sale to Israel that includes projectiles and related other weaponry. Many people were pointing to that.
So they're talking about the weapons that the Joe Biden administration is giving to Israel, which is why I'm going to read this to you right here. I'm going to pull this up, which is why you got the preachers who are going to bat for this situation, but I wish they would go to bat for us on some issues too. It says right here, more than black preachers represent 100,000 of congregants nationwide, congregations nationwide, should I say, have issued the demand in sit-down meetings with the White House officials, and through open letters and advertisement, ministers have made a moral case for President Biden and his administration to press Israel to stop its offensive operations in Gaza, which have killed thousands of civilians. They also are calling for the release of hostages held by Hamas and the end to Israel occupation of the West Bank. The efforts. Now, I understand why the ministers, the preachers are doing this, folks. I get it. I wish they would have the same attitude in coming together to put pressure on the Biden administration to do something about this migrant situation as it relates to black people in these cities that are being impacted by these migrants. And I wish they would I wish these damn preachers, these jackleg preachers, would push our agenda as it relates to reparations. So I just wanted to say that because I don't always feel like they have our best interests. Now, check this out. This is from Chicago. This is an Alderman. Some of you from Chicago will probably recognize this brother, but listen to him break down what's going on in Chicago. Check it out with these damn migrants.
What's the big problem in Chicago right now with the migrant crisis?
The mayor allowed the illegal migrants to come into our city to invade Chicago.
Tell the truth.
Two, that schools, park districts that was closed and allowed the migrants to be in there, repurposed. These apartments, middle-class families was living there, and they're building them now for migrants.
Where is the money coming from to pay for all of this?
Well, the money is coming from the hard-earned taxpayers, taxpayers' dollars that don't have the luxury now to go to the park in their community because migrants are there.
You think it's a full-blown invasion?
It's an invasion. You know, they're using a silent, and some of them are saying, look, we were living better where we were. So if you were in fear for your life, how could you be living better where you were?
This used to be an academy for young women, and now they said they could not continue to operate it because of funding. Now they're operating this same academy as a place for migrants to sleep and stay.
So basically, ladies and gentlemen, what's happening in Chicago is that buildings and medical facilities and programs that were shut down in Chicago because they said they didn't have money to keep these programs going that were benefiting particularly black people in some of these areas in Chicago. All of a sudden, when the migrants get there, they find all this money to open up shelters and provide them programs and opportunity. This is crazy.
It's just like Wadsworth. It's just like many of our schools, our parks that was closed and shut out from the community for our children that we pay taxes for to be successful. You tell us that there's no funding or there's lack of funding, but then you bring migrants in and make them shelters.
Tell the truth.
That's not the American way.
They shut down this health center that's behind me, but what was confusing is that they turned it into a migrant shelter.
This health clinic was for the community. This was a place that if you didn't have a lot of money, you didn't have any insurance, you can go there and get the service. But they took that away from the community and now made it a...
They said they couldn't afford it anymore? What was the reason why they took it away?
Funding.
Lack of funding again. And now they have the funding to put migrants in here that are in the country illegally.
They have the funding, and every now and then they say, hey, we found more millions. We found more money.
So we're at a location that was once a school, and now migrants have taken this over as well.
This school where we're at now is called Wadsworth. We're in the heart of Woodlawn. This school was part of the 50 schools that was closed in the city of Chicago due to lack of funding.
As we're here, you smell the weed. You see the migrants that are starting to scatter now as they see that we're here. They were all in this playground right here, and now they're going back into the facility. But before we got here, all of this was full of migrants. It's already out of control right now. How much time do we have before there's utter chaos in Chicago?
When they release what's in these buildings, when they release them out of these buildings, out of the clinics, out of the parks, that's when the chaos is going to start.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember the video that I did with this is the community that he's talking about. This is Woodlawn in Chicago, Illinois. This is the actual place right here. You see beautiful Chicago skyline, right? Beautiful Chicago skyline. But this is what's really going on. These are the people who were sitting in the snow, standing in the snow, speaking, pleading with Lori Lightfoot, the mayor at the time, to please not put these migrants in their community, that it would impact them. But they did it anyway. And at school, they were supposed to turn it into a program for the community. And as you heard the alderman say, that many things have been shut down in Chicago because they claim there was no money. But when the migrants get there, they all of a sudden find all this money for the migrants. Let me also give you a breakdown. This is about Chicago, y'all. This one's going to blow you away. This one's going to really blow you away. Let me show my face on this one. This is about the migrants in Chicago. Chicago has spent since December of last year, $138 million so far, okay? It has cost the taxpayers of Chicago, the taxpayers in Illinois, well, let me say the taxpayers of Illinois as a state, including those in Chicago, it has cost the taxpayers $361 million that they have said that they believe the taxpayers it's going to cost them. Chicago City Council, just this not too long ago, for their upcoming budget for this year, the 2024 year, passed a $16.6 billion budget for the migrants alone. The migrants are going to get a slice of $16.6 billion for the migrants themselves just alone. Before the migrants got there and black people had programs, they shut them down and said they had no damn money. All of a sudden, these migrants get here and they can find all this damn money. I'm going to show you a website that I want you to go to. I'm going to drop it in the chat room. I'm going to tell you right now, your black mayors and your Democratic mayors around the country have come together in a coalition in the benefit of the migrants, the benefit of these illegals, at the expense of us. And I'm going to tell you, you just heard me break the numbers down. This is a damn shame. And there ain't no God in these people in Chicago, the politicians. I don't care what race they are. They're not doing the right thing. Check this out. You think now that's this mayor right here. Let's show his damn face. That's Brandon Johnson, who's approving this, who just got elected by a majority black vote. What's going on, Maurice Smith? Thank you, Brother Smith, who got elected by the black vote, and he's doing everything that's not benefiting black folks. Just like Adams in New York told black people, I don't want to hear nothing about who's getting what and who's not getting this. When you got homelessness, check this out, in New York. Y'all want to know what the homelessness in New York is? Black people make up, check this out. Woo! New York, 57% of the homelessness in New York is black people. Right? But yet, check this out. What they about to do in New York. Y'all probably read about it already. This was in the New York Post. The New York City is launching a $53 million program to hand out prepaid credit cards to migrants. I did not stutter there, folks. Did y'all hear what I just said? New York City will offer a surging migrant population $53 million worth of prepaid credit cards. The New York Post reported initiating the office of Mayor Eric Adams and the Mobility Capital Finance aim to assist migrants with food expenses as they await authorization to work from the federal government. So they're going to let them work, get jobs. And you got black homelessness in New York where black men, black women can't even get the goddamn jobs. They're going to give them credit cards. Ain't no black homeless people in there getting credit cards. Cards will only work at a particular grocery store, supermarket, and convenience stores. Okay. Recipients, those who get it, must sign an affidavit swearing to use the foods only for food and baby supplies or risk being removed from the program. Cards will be loaded with different amounts depending on the size of the family where they have income. A family of 4 could receive, ladies and gentlemen, a monthly stipend of $1,000. Or, ladies and gentlemen, or $35 per day, cards will be refilled every 28 days. You've got 57% of homelessness being black people in New York. Black men making up those numbers, but yet they could find this type of program for the migrants. Through the city will begin offering cards to a group of 500 individuals. It could soon expand the program to reach the total population of migrants in New York City, estimated at 15,000 people. And you got black men, you got people in New York, no matter what their race is, that are homeless. And black people, particularly black males, make up the majority of your homeless population in New York. And they have never done this for any of those black homeless people or homeless people in New York. And Mayor Adams sits up here and tells us he don't want to hear us complain. This is some, what we call it again. What I call it again, folks, we got a lot of these raccoons in here. Check this out. This woman is going to set up, in the beginning of this video, I'm going to show you from Boston. This woman is setting up here talking about the kids. I understand that. You got kids that are in the migrant population. The kids are children who didn't ask to come over there. Their parents brought them over. I get that. But let me just let y'all hear some of this.
When I'm asking, Mommy, where are we going tonight? Where are we going to sleep? It's a human crisis.
Shame on him!
Yeah, now we know that she's not FBA, y'all, but this is the point. Yes, it's a human crisis, but it's also having an impact on black people in Boston. So what happened in Boston is that they have a recreational center that has served the community of Roxbury. Y'all know Roxbury. Y'all familiar with Roxbury?
Tell the truth.
Roxbury is where New Edition came from. It's a black community, a very deprived black community. And this was a center that was helping them to have some activity, something to do. And now they've taken it away from a community that's been put upon, because in the middle of the night, they put the migrants in there and said, to hell with the tax-paying black community who probably was fighting to get this community center in the fucking first place. Check this out.
But the plan has received mixed reviews in the community, since the recreation center is also a vital resource for youth and adult programs.
Now, this is the mayor of Boston. This is Michelle Wu, if I got her name correct. This is Michelle Wu. Okay? You got to look at her. You see what's happening here, y'all.
We sympathize with them. We as a people in our community, we love, but sometimes we love so much that we spite our own selves.
Alternating toe touches. Tony DeRoca with Boston United Track and Cross Country coaches young athletes in a free weekly program here, and now doesn't know where they'll go with a meet set for Sunday.
We have kids who also are impacted negatively
And our program is one that very few stable times of their life.
I've been going here for like 2 years now, and like it's been like a second home to me.
But the decision to make it a temporary home until May 31st for migrant families is called humanitarian, but also...
Did you hear that? To May 31st. That's a...
difficult by some, and Boston Mayor Michelle Wu acknowledged that today.
This is not the first time that this community has been asked to sacrifice over and over again, and so we'll continue to work with the state and ensure that all options are on the table.
So Michelle Wu, who is the mayor of Boston, said that this is not the first time that this community made up of mainly black people have been asked to sacrifice. And why you keep asking the black community in Boston and Roxbury to sacrifice? How about you ask another community to sacrifice, like one of your rich neighborhoods out there? Huh? See, folks, I said this before. We've got no friends. We got plenty of enemies. You're going to say on camera that this community's been put upon so many times. So then won't you put these people in another community that hasn't sacrificed as much as the black community has in Roxbury, Boston?
Now, the governor says she hopes the community will be helped, not burdened by the plan, saying local vendors will be used to provide food and other necessities here, and funding will be provided for long-awaited upgrades to the Melnia Cass Recreational Center once the...
Did you hear that? That they're going to spend money to give upgrades to the recreational center. They're going to have people provide food. Now, prior to this migrant situation in Boston and Roxbury, in this neighborhood, a black neighborhood, were they willing or were they planning to spend money to do upgrades on the community center, this rec center? Hell no. They want to do all this new stuff because of the migrants. Let me let you know the situation with homelessness in Boston. You can look, guess what? Boston's black homelessness. Black people make up the largest number of homeless people in Boston. Did they ever think about doing this for homeless black people in Boston? Hell no.
Tell the truth.
I've got to tell the truth. Here's the next video that's going to blow your socks off as well. This is another situation in Boston, same place. This sister really tells the truth.
Because this place was, like you said, it's free. It was a place for our children. Our children, I have 4 children, and it's sad. You know, I have 4 boys, you know, and we really don't have nothing in the community that's free for us. Don't get me wrong. It's great that they want to help the immigrants, but what about the Americans that are already here? What about the people that are already here that don't have homes, that don't have jobs, that are sleeping on the street already? These people came from the airport here, probably on boats, probably on buses, and probably all for free. Now they're getting stipends. They're getting what else?
Tell the truth.
I need money for me and my kids, and I was born here. Like, you know, I know life is a struggle in itself, but this is not the answer to help them. Now it's going to destroy our community more and mess our children up more. Like, this is sad. I know a lot of people don't even know about this. I came here last night with my aunt, saw a lot of stadies, a lot of police, and this paper wasn't there yet. They just did this probably 2, 3 in the morning when they brung them here. When everybody's asleep, that's when they brung them here probably. On buses, I saw New York plates. I saw Washington, D.C. plates. So they have that much money to come from Washington, D.C. to do this, to do that. Why are they not helping the people here first?
Yes, ma'am. Let's talk.
She's telling the truth. That's the same community center that I had played in the other video. The sister's saying that they come in the middle of the night. They're getting all sorts of programs, but the people that are poor, that are already living there, are not getting those type of set-asides so easily as these migrants. This is wrong. These are all the elements and all the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, that Joe Biden, Jim Crow Biden, and thank you for being here today and being patient with me. This is why he is losing some of the black vote. This is why black people are peeling away from him, along with the reparations issue, along with the fact that we feel taken for granted. There's no tangibles that we see that we're getting. We're just getting a lot of lip service, and we got all of these Democratic shills, all these black folks on the news, on these networks telling us that we're bots, that we're Russian bots, that we don't know what we're talking about, because they all get a paycheck. They're all getting their butter biscuits. You see, let me show you another video of a black man who is struggling in Boston, the same city that I talked about. He's in Boston. He's struggling. He's pissed off. He said, I work a 48-hour job, 40-hour job. I can't even can't afford to live here. And then you bring these people in. Check this out. He's telling the truth.
About to tell the truth.
I was born and raised here. Y'all raised the so high. Can't afford to live here. But y'all gonna bring some other here. That doesn't add up. It doesn't make no sense. None. I'm homeless. I work a full-time job, 40 hours, and can't pay to live here. How the f y'all gonna bring somebody else
Tell the
here?
truth. Tell the truth.
Don't make no sense. None.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the real issues, not this battle of the sexes that people will make you think is the real issue. What that brother just said, that's real. This crap on YouTube with this battle of the sexes, we know we got problems, interpersonal problems. Every community has their interpersonal problems with relationships. But that's the real issue that's going on. A black man who's working and he can't still make it in a city where other groups are coming in. So while we're wasting our time talking battle of the sexes, we got people coming over here getting benefits over our tax dollars. These are the real issues that we need to be keeping our eyes on and being aware of. And Dr. Claude Anderson warned us about this years ago, but yet we don't listen to him. Instead of listening to people like a Dr. Claude Anderson, we listen to jack-and-leg preachers. Let me tell you something about this sister right here. This is London Breed. She's the mayor of San Francisco. Check this out. Do you know that homelessness in San Francisco is the biggest amongst black people? San Francisco is buck wild right now. Black people make up 5% of San Francisco's population, which is really nothing, but we make up 37% of the homeless population. They also are being inundated with these migrants, taking black people to the side. Oh, let me also say this. She also disbanded the reparations committee that they had in San Francisco about looking at how black people were mistreated in San Francisco, losing property, losing opportunity. And now she disbanded the whole damn reparations committee in San Francisco, saying that it wasn't enough money in the budget. And black people are not liking what she did. She disbanded it altogether. But I bet you they'll find money for the migrants. And San Francisco's already got a drug problem out there, needles on the damn streets. They already got a homeless problem that's been exacerbated for years. I lived there for years, went to high school there, went to college. I know the damn city like the back of my head. And this woman disbanded a reparations program. A committee, disbanded the damn committee. Let me give you some other data. Very important before I end the show today. Which racial group is unemployed the most? Black sources. United States Bureau of Labor Statistics currently population survey CPS among adult men 20 years and older. In the largest racial ethnic group, blacks were the most likely to be jobless, with unemployment rates of 8.9%, while whites at 4.6% and Asians at 4.8% were least likely. While you bringing these people in and giving them benefits, why were there no benefits for people who need them that are citizens here? That's something that we have to look at. Now look at Chicago's numbers. These are current since 2023. Check this out. The jobless rate rose from 43.6% to 57.4% between 2019 and 2021 for Black people aged 20 to 24 in Chicago. The unemployment rate increased for Black women aged 20 to 24 was straggling, rising from 32% in 2019 to 60% in 2021. Recovery for Black youth is slower compared to older Black adults as well. So you got Black youth who are young in Chicago who need jobs, and it's slowing down. You're going to give migrants $16.6 billion budget for them. But you haven't solved the problem with the citizens that happen to be Black and other race of people in Chicago who make up these high numbers, Black people in particular, making up these high numbers of unemployed, particularly amongst your young. And you're bringing in you got these people in here, Brandon Johnson, when you've got Black people who put your Black ass in office and they are struggling. But you found money for migrants, but you didn't find money for the Black people that live there and have been born there. Look at this one up right here. What is the Black unemployment rate in New York? They're about to give they're about to spend $53 million giving these people credit cards to buy food and give them shelter. And check this out. The Black unemployment rate in New York City in the first 3 months of the year, the unemployment rate for Black New Yorkers rose to 12.2%, the highest rate of any group, while the white unemployment rate dropped to 1.3%, the lowest it has been since 2000, according to the reports, which was released Thursday by the Center for New York City. This was back in April 28, 2023. Black people lead at 12.2% in unemployment in New York, and you're about to employ these migrants, give them money and programs for jobs. You're going to get the federal government's coming in to give them jobs. And you haven't done the same thing. The federal government, which is under the Biden administration, hasn't done that for the poor, the downtrodden, and the unappreciated of Black people or people that are poor in New York. If it's the feds are going to step in and help these migrants, and the feds is under Joe Biden's administration. So the Joe Biden administration is running around, going to churches, trying to convince us to vote for them, but yet they've done nothing to give Black people relief in these cities where the migrants are at, or give Black people relief and opportunity where they've been struggling before the migrants even got there. Tell the truth. If you agree with where I'm coming from, you understand the premise, hit 7s in the chat room as we're getting ready to close out. Now, I want y'all to see something. I'm about to put something in the chat room for you guys to look at. I'm going to put the New York Post article in the chat before I get ready to end the program. I'm going to get ready to end the program very soon. Let me put that in the chat. Y'all can check that out. That's the New York Post article. Now, I'm going to read this to you right here. I want y'all to look at this website. I'm going to put the website in the chat room right now. I want everybody that's been listening to my show, put those 7s in there to click into this website. This is a website that has to do with what these mayors are doing to destroy us. It's called Cities for Action. It is a coalition of nearly 200 United States mayors, a lot of them being Democratic, a lot of them mostly Democratic mayors, and county executives advocating for pro-immigrant federal policies, launching innovative, inclusive programs and policies at the local level. Where you think the local level is, where Black people live. Our leaders have joined forces to create stronger and safe cities by driving the nation's debate, embracing new immigrants, and engaging with stakeholders to win on immigration policies. These people who are over there in Chicago, New York, they're not immigrants, they're migrants, illegals, folks. But check this out. When you go into this website, I want you to go where it says About Us. When you drop into About Us, I want you to go into where it says Our Leaders. When you click into Our Leaders, you're going to see nothing but a bunch of Black mayors who have signed on to this. This is why a Brandon Johnson can break off 16.6 billion. This is why a Mayor Adams is down with giving him some money, because that was already the plan. Black people, we just didn't know it was the plan, but it is the plan. Let me drop that website in there. Y'all check that out. As I get ready to end this show today, I need all of y'all to check this website out. And I need y'all to make comments on this video. Share this video on all your social media and your community tabs. I'm going to say it again. When you go into this website, I want you to look where it says About Us. Click into About Us and drop it down. Drop your mouse down to where it says Our Leaders. When you click into Our Leaders, it's going to break down every city where there's mayors, particularly black mayors. It's going to have a slideshow. It's going to show you everything. Mayor Bowser of Washington, D.C., she's on with this. She's down with it. Mayor Barack, mayor of Newark, New Jersey, is with this. Okay? They're all with this. Brandon Johnson, he's going to come up on the slider. He's down with this coalition that they're building here. Okay? He's down with it. You got other mayors. They're all Democratic mayors. So this has been the plan all along, right? Then you got Mayor Sister Parker, Mayor of Philadelphia. The Mayor of Philadelphia, she signed on to it. Oh, London Breed of San Francisco, she signed on to it. She gets rid of the reparations committee, but signs on this. Oh, Randall Wolfen, Mayor of Birmingham, Alabama, he signed on to it. Oh yeah. It's all on there. You click into the link that I dropped in the chat room. You pull the website up. You go into Our Leaders. And then when you click into Our Leaders, you go into About Us. It'll have About Us, Contacts, and Our Leaders. You click into Our Leaders. And when you click into Our Leaders, it'll show you all the cities and it'll have a slideshow of all the mayors. Like I said before, this shit has been planned. They know what they're doing. This is not no accident. This is what's happening, folks. Check out this map right here. The goal is to populate all of this where we live. Look at that. They're coming. Okay? They're coming. They're coming, y'all. They're hitting you. They're hitting you in Arkansas. They're coming to Alabama, Georgia. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. Okay? I'm going to put that in there again. I want y'all to hit that link again. I want to say thank you for being on the program today, leaving your comments in the comment section of this video. I've got to end the show because I think someone else has got to come on to the Roku TV, so I'm going to have to disengage the broadcast. You all, thank you for being here again. Your mayors are selling you out. These black mayors are selling you out. The Brandon Johnsons of the world, the Eric Adams of the world, the London Breeds of the world, and even this Michelle Wheat. They're selling you out. They already have signed up to push this initiative around immigrant policies. Black people in these same cities that they're pushing these initiatives that have been struggling, that have yet to get the proper treatment and respect that we are due. You don't see any of them coming together in this large coalition to push our agendas. And you wonder why we can't get reparations, we can't get certain things, because they're already looking to these immigrants to replace us. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta go. I appreciate you for rocking with me today. If you enjoyed the show, you got something out of it, hit 7 in the chat room. Y'all take care. Peace. Black people have paid their dues through history, and this is how they're treating us, y'all. I'm telling y'all the truth. I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl. It's a damn shame, y'all. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Better way. Oh,
you did that. Yeah, you crossed the line about 1,000 times and I did that. Yeah, I stayed a while, tried to make it right. Cigarette. No, I never smoked, but my heart is broke, explosive. Stressing for that old thing back. That initial love, all the goosebumps, those flutters in my gut, turn into disgust. What a waste of love, babe. I just wanna go back to how it was, lay in each other's arms all day. Send me gifts just because. Tell me where we went wrong. Started out as homies, ended up as lovers. How'd it get so ugly? Can't we rediscover, baby, what it was? Or let's be honest, it was just a lover. You were so romantic, we were picture perfect. So much freaking passion, why we never got it back, babe? It was just a lover. Really wish it didn't push me away. I was willing to try long as it takes. I would never say we were a mistake, but fleeting romance doesn't a lifetime make. That initial love, all the goosebumps, those flutters in my gut, turn into disgust. What a waste of love, babe. I just wanna go back to how it was, baby. Lay in each other's arms all day, all day. Send me gifts just because it's Tuesday. Tell me where we went wrong. Started as fantastic.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.